3 quickly, and then I'll just quickly
All
run
right,
down.
there we are. Now stream's going again.
So
As
drop
on
down
pole
to
is a
P3.
Lowe's just posted a 144.240. He's on pole as it stands. As has just gone second with a 44.315. The Dragons now move down to third position. Jeebus John's just about to start a hot lap right now, so is Smooth, and Flavor's on a hot lap right now. He's half a tenth up.
All right. So as you were saying, Dragon, what's your change with strategy now, knowing that you're starting near the front instead of near the back?
Strategy is just calming down, running the race turn by turn, going for the moves I know I can get, and just let situations come to me instead of trying to force situations. We're getting down to crunch time in the McLaren camp. We need points, and one way or another, we will get points today.
All right, well, we'll be looking forward to one, if not both of you, finishing in the points today. But to finish, first you must finish.
Absolutely.
I botched that saying, but it works well enough, I guess.
Absolutely. Well, I've got a solid teammate. We communicate well during the race, and we will make this happen.
All right.
Torpedo's just gone fifth with 144.755. He is done. So is Smooth. He's in sixth. You should be getting him pretty soon. Hopefully, get him before the start of the lobby. Frisbee is about to cross the line. The second he's on 4 corners left, and you are back in. Thank God for that.
There we are, and I'm looking right now. Frisbee coming to the line, trying to get a lap in here.
He's the only car yet to post a lap time. This is good, though. It's good. But how good is it gonna be? Got 8
His
seconds.
teammate Ryan is the only driver not in the 145s. What about Frisbee, though?
Frisbee, where we go? P5, 144.586. Ryan Hurricane is just behind him through the final chicane as well. He is boxed, so he is done. So Ryan Hurricane is going to start in 9th position. Jeebus John, final corner in the Aston Martin. He is half at 2 tenths up nearly. And he goes to P3.
Third.
Aston Martin, both 2 and 3. Fair play, boys.
And here comes Lowe.
Retiring pit suspect. Yeah, he's done. There you go.
Yep, so that will be the end of the session. So XRL Lowe in the AlphaTauri on pole, but Ozda and Jeebus John in the Aston Martin second and third. No one was really expecting this to be a great track for the Aston Martin teams, but they're performing right now.
Well, it's half the job. Qualifying's half the job. The race is now, it is 100%, so it's like 44 laps of lovely, fun, slidey, savey. Try not die. Please don't die. Lots of that saying aspect.
Alright, well there's a spread. As it looks right now though, from 1st to 8th, only spread by a little less than a second. Ryan Hurricane's the only driver to not get within the 145 range. So, and even at that, Smoothie, he's in the 145s, but he's in the low 145s at that. So for Ryan, I'm going to guess partially because he just couldn't put a lap together properly, but he's going to have a little bit of a struggle because he's right in the middle of the field still in 9th.
I am going to head over to the little pie, so thank you, and I'll catch you guys in a bit, hopefully, not till after the race.
Alright, thank you very much for being willing to jump in and talk with us, Zola. As now we're prepared to get underway for the race itself, I will go ahead and run us through the championship standard right now. First up, starting when it comes to the manufacturers fight. Mercedes, 96 points at the moment right now. They just need to earn 4 more points going forward if they want to break the 100-point barrier. It's been a horrible, horrible season for the Mercedes drivers. 9th is Red Bull with 146 points. 8th is Haas with 157. 7th is Alpine with 180. 6th is McLaren with 184. Then there's a big gap. 5th is the Alfa Romeo team with 211. They're kind of in no man's land right now. 4th is Aston Martin with 233 points. 3rd is Williams with 299. They're braining themselves into the manufacturer's title hunt fight right now. 2nd is Ferrari with 303 points. 1st is AlphaTauri with 329 points. This could be a great day for the AlphaTauri camp. Then we look at the Drivers' Championship. 20th is XRL Yum with 26 points. 19th is XRL Ozza with 44. There is a tie for 17th between Frisbee and Level 6 BC, and they both have 52 points each. 16th is Ocean Lion 08 with 60. 15th is BG Bull 62. 14th is Mr. Worson with 64 points. 13th is Fizzy with 69. There is a tie for 11th between XRL Low and XRL Jigsaw. They both have 76 points at the moment. 10th is Gabo 36720 with 88. 9th is XRL Dragon with only 90. Flavor has finally overtaken his rival Dragon. Flavor is 8th with 94 points at the moment. 7th is A. Wallington. He has 108 points. 6th is XRL Zola with 128. 5th is Davis Young with 130. 4th is Ryan Hurricane with 159. 3rd is Smoothie25 with 165. Then the 2 championship contenders. 4th is XRL Torpedo with 225. 1st is XRL Matrix with 265 points. So a 40-point spread between 1st and 2nd in the Drivers' Championship as it stands right now. Also, I'm going to give a shout out to Flavor, being able to bring home with a 4th place qualifying, and he'll be starting on soft rubber, so assuming he doesn't just lay over and let other drivers by and he actually pushes, this could be a great start for the race for him today. Just stand by right now until we get into the race itself. Real quickly, as we look at the tire setup that everyone is going to be starting the race on. As we know, Flavor, he's starting 4th on soft rubber. That's better than anyone else in the top 9 when it comes to initial starting tire and starting position. Then we have Frisbee. He'll be starting 6th on the softs, as will Ryan Hurricane be starting 9th on the softs. 10th, Dave Ewell will be starting on mediums. 11th, Kinsey Retro. He's choosing to start on mediums. 12th, Mr. Worson starting on softs. 13th, Jigsaw starting on mediums. 14th, Gabo starting on softs. 15th is Matrix. He's also on soft, as is Beastie in 16th. And Zola in 17th. And Collie Boy in the 18th. So a lot of drivers on softs near the rear of the grid. I'm betting, at least I think, that they're betting on an early race yellow, either a full course safety car or a VSC. That way they can jump in and jump onto a different set of tires quickly before those tires fall off too fast. Stand by right now until we get underway for the race start. Should be getting underway here in about 2 minutes. 18 drivers taking to the track today. Of course, question, how many will be rained by race in? All right, now we see the clock counting down. Potentially a 2-hour-long race today, depending on how many yellow flags we get in the event. 2 championships still up for grabs, and it's all in the AlphaTauri's hands right now. Things are looking good for them on both fronts. As we load onto the circuit, and we see the field, 4 lights, 5 lights. It's lights out, away we go here. Everyone has a good initial start by the looks of it, but at front, Lowe easily takes point. Ozza is going to have to hold off his teammate James John. They're side by side for a second. Twitch by James John leaves him open to attack. Here comes Frisbee. He's jumped by Flavor. They're multi-wide racing farther back. 3 wide farther back near the back of the grid. Dragon's actually given up some positions, going uphill. He falls down to 10 after having a good start. Someone's in the wall farther back. That's Collie Boy. And somehow that car is still alive and going. We stay green for the moment. Lowe at point. Ozza running second. James Young third. And Frisbee has jumped to fourth with Flavor fifth. Smoothie sixth. Torpedo in seventh. Worsen gets by Dragon. That will be for 10th position. Matrix is by Jigsaw. Now Jigsaw fights back to take 13th back away from him now. So they're still fighting there. Now Frisbee gets by James John for third. Around the outside, Jigsaw trying to stick it on Matrix. It's just not working out. The medium tires do not have the grip that those softs do at the moment. Going off circuit, that's Gabo in the Williams, not looking great for him. Dragon now goes around as Ryan Hurricane has gone around and spun there. And Hills will now drop him down to 15 spots. Not looking good for Ryan at the moment. Now we see Kinsey Retro scooting by him. But all 18 drivers are still on track as Beastian has now gone by Gabo's. Gabo has significant weight damage, so we know he's going to have to pit. That's Beastian who's gone off into the dirt there now. So a lot of drivers, without a doubt, will have to pit coming to the end of this lap. Here comes Matrix. He is making a charge on Dragon right now. Looking inside, looking outside. How aggressively does he attack? The answer, moderately aggressive going into the... And now Jigsaw. Woo, Jigsaw saw an opening, went for it, can't make it stick though. As we now see Gabo coming into the pits, and he'll be joined right afterwards by Ryan Hurricane and Collie Boy. But Matrix hanging out in 11th, just one spot out of the points paying positions, as Dragon had an absolutely atrocious start to this race. Farther up, Flavor making a run on James John, going down the back straightaway right now. John riding the draft of Frisbee's machine. Soft tires versus medium tires at the moment. Flavor and Frisbee have the advantage when it comes to tire life. Ryan Hurricane in the pit lane, he has elected to throw it on hard tires. While at the front, Ozza is trying to close the gap in on Lowe. Matrix making a run now on Jigsaw at the moment. Oh, and that's Worsen. Worsen has had a spin in the Alfa Romeo in Sector 2, and it looks like the entire front wing has been knocked clean off in the process. So neither of your Alfa Romeo cars in the points at the moment, although Matrix is trying to change that. This does promote Dragon back up into 9th and Jigsaw into 10th position though. And Lowe at the front now has a time penalty before we even completed the second lap. Oh, and Alpine and Aston Martin, Jigsaw and Matrix both go wide. They hook nose to tail, and Matrix may have wing damage. Your points leader, he's still going. No wing damage as far as we can see, but he has lost putties with Jigsaw. Jigsaw is now going for it on Dragon. They make contact twice under braking. Dragon holds the position, cuts down, blocks the Alpine's run, and Jigsaw has to back off. That lets Matrix climb back into the fray now. Farther up, Flavor now is going to have to start holding off a run from Torpedo because DRS has been activated. And Torpedo should have the run on Flavor. We know the AlphaTauris are great in the straight line. They're about the second or third best car in a straight, depending on how you look at the Mercedes. Easy DRS overtake. Torpedo moves up into 5th position now. Oh, and that's an Aston Martin around. That's James John. He's around, and he's crashed right out of the top 4 positions. VSC comes out as he is out. And after starting up front and staying for his very short race up front, he gets a little bit twitchy. The rear end comes out from him, and when the car grips up, he went right around as a virtual safety car. There's no one really in position to capitalize except for people at the back of the grid. Coming to the party right now is, well, I had him, and then he got kicked out for whatever reason. I'm going to try and get him back in one more time. as we are under the VSC for the moment. This promotes Torpedo now up in the 4th position. Also, Matrix now in the points in 10th. Gabo gets a time penalty for track violations as he's rushing to try and just maintain positions. There we are, green flag again, DRS re-enabled. At the front, Ozda has caught low. He's within DRS range. So a fight for a lead, very much possible at this point in the race. Right out the back of Lowe's, we see Ozda hanging out behind. Jigsaw's just gotten by Matrix to take 9th place back. Now Jigsaw gets by Dragon. Jigsaw's having a great run at it right now. Perfectly timed that restart. Dragon's not very happy though, but he has to deal with Matrix, who now pulls even with him down the main straightaway. Around the outside, Matrix is now by Dragon, while coming out of Al Ruzardillion, Ozda, 3/4 out, now closing with speed, and the DRS is open. Can he get alongside the AlphaTauri going into the braking zone? The answer, no, not close enough. But they both have opened a bit on Frisbee's Haas behind, as Smoothie and Davey Wart fight for 6th and 7th position. Give that position to Smoothie, so Alpine's running 6th and 8th. Right now, 6th and 9th, as I say that, because Matrix now has cleared Jigsaw. Nothing that anyone can do to match Jigsaw. I mean, match Matrix. That accident early on means nothing when you're almost a second faster than everyone else on a single lap. Oh, incident! Jigsaw around in Sector 2. But he is by, but has fallen now out of the points to 13th. And that's not going to help him, to say the least. Beastian now fighting with Kinsey Retro for the 11th spot. At the front, though, the battle for elites heated up a bit more. Ozda now within half a second as they enter the final chicane. But Frisbee is faster than both and is really putting pressure on both the leaders. I think Ozda wants to really start making hay. If Ozda can get by Lowe, the fact that Lowe was very fast in the AlphaTauri on the straights can keep Frisbee behind for a long time. Incident, Mr. Worsen again in Sector 2. But the focus is on the fight for a lead. Ozda a little closer now, only 7/10 out. Pops up in the DRS, flying down the back straightaway, but not closing at the speed he'd like. Can't even get alongside the leading AlphaTauri at the moment. Worsen, again, this time into the gravel, and he has to wait for a bit to let the Williams of Gabo go by before he can get moving. So at this rate, Worsen is likely to be the first driver to go a lap down today, and that's impressive considering how massive this circuit is. Worsen spins again. He's just not able to get going at all. Jigsaw now gets by Beastian, or is at least trying to complete a pass on Beastian. He does do it with the DRS assist. Ozda putting pressure on Lowe still. Frisbee just hanging out behind, but for Frisbee right now, I think with those tires, he's probably eclipsed the peak of them. Again, those are the tires that Frisbee ran in Q2, so they have wear on them, and that hurts soft tires a lot more than mediums. So I imagine we'll see Lowe and Ozda being able to pull away if they can just get out of DRS range from Frisbee. Here we are, Ozda now closer to Lowe than he was the lap before. Right under the rear wing as they come onto the main straightaway. DRS pops open. Dave, out of it! Just off the racing line, and that is a full course safety car, and Dave Ewart will be the second DNF of the day. Now there's only one Mercedes left, and that's Collie Boy, who is stuck right in 15th. Matrix has taken this chance to go ahead, jump into the pit lane. He wants off the soft tires he started on, and they'll now put on a set of mediums. He also had wing damage, apparently, so we missed that. But Matrix now with a repaired wing, and now on the alternate set of tires, Downside for Matrix, though, this now has dropped them to 12th position, back out of the points paying spots. He also seems to be the only driver to have pitted. But again, full course safety car is going to be a long time until the field fully gathers up, because Lowe and Ozda were well ahead of the safety car when that happened. Will anyone else near the front pit? Now we see Ryan Hurricane. He's in 13th. He's paid. He wants off the hards that he was on. So he's probably, he throws on a set of mediums now. He will lose a position to Collie Boy. But again, these are drivers who are out of points-paying positions. Right now for them, I think their idea is just survival. They're betting on just a race of attrition going forward. Real quickly, one other thing to look at. Telemetry, who is betting on a lot of yellow and needs to make up fuel? Ozda in second, still needs to conserve some fuel. Looking down the order a little bit farther, Dragon, unsurprisingly, in 7th. He is still trying to save fuel. And that is it. Only Ozda and Dragon are in a position where they must save fuel right now. Also, Mr. Worson in pit lane. This might not be very good for him because he is going to be at risk of going a lap down in pit road here. The leaders are coming into the final chicane. They've already changed the tires for Worson. I think he'll just barely stay on the lead lap, and he'll have fresh mediums as well. So his tires will be nice and warm when he does catch the back of the grid, but it's going to be a long time. Near the front, though, no one in the top 3 is pitted. Flavor is not pitted. Torpedo's not pitted. Smoothie stays out. Dragon is staying out. Zola is staying out. I imagine we'll see Kinsey, Jigsaw, and Beastian stay out as well. Yep, indeed. We know Matrix will stay out because he just pitted. Collie Boy already had his chance and he chose not to pit. Ryan did pit. Gabo did not pit. Mr. Worson, he is now just trying to race to the back of the grid at the moment. So I imagine we'll probably go green lap 9, I think, because it's going to be a long time until the back of the grid catches the front. Still 16 drivers on track right now. Collie Boy alone is a good 26 seconds off Matrix, and Matrix still hasn't even caught the back of the grid. Yeah, this is a very large track, and there are a lot of straights here, and that does help with closing the speed down a bit, but with all the massive straightaways around the circuit, it makes it pretty difficult to properly close the field up in a timely and efficient manner, especially with how quickly the field's spread out here today. Matrix now finally catches the back of the grid, but Collie Boy still 26 seconds out from Matrix as we speak. And then Ryan Hurricane 14th, he's another 4 seconds out. Gabo in 15th is another 12 seconds, and Worson another nearly 30 seconds out right now. The good news, though, for Ryan Hurricane and Mr. Worson, their tires will be nice and warm by the time they go green, especially for Mr. Worson. Collie Boys now closed it down to about 25 seconds right now. For Dragon and Ozda, though, this is great because this means that they will be in a better and better position for fuel going forward now. Collie Boy runs into the dirt for a brief moment there, but keeps it on track and still is going. 15 seconds out. Now 13, now 12. Actually opened up the gap a bit on Ryan Hurricane. I have to wonder if maybe Ryan's just trying to conserve a bit so he doesn't burn the tires up super hard. Burn the first bit off of the tires, maybe. But now Collie Boy can see the back of the grid ahead. Mr. Worson is still half a lap down. Alright, coming out of that hairpin turn 1. And Collie Boy is basically caught in the back of the grid. But Ryan Hurricane not really closing at speed, it would appear. He's just kind of pitter-pattering around the track at a respectable pace, so I'm guessing he's both trying to not burn through excessive amounts of fuel, and he's also probably trying to just, not run a risk of damaging the car while catching up to the rear of the grid. He's 12 seconds out right now. Gabo behind him in 15th. Right now, only 2 drivers have time penalties. That's Gabo in 15th and XRL, your current race leader. So now we are. Ryan Hurricane finally catches the back, and Gabo right behind. Suck in. But Mr. Worson still 35 seconds plus away from the rear of the grid. Good news for Worson. No worry about fuel conservation for him, as far as we're understanding. He doesn't have to worry about fuel numbers to the end of this race as it stands right now, so he can go hard. We have been under the yellow flag long enough that this is actually resolved Dragon and Ozda's fuel issue, so we know that on fuel at least everyone is in a position they should be able to push to the end now. Worson's still 35 seconds out from the back of the grid right now. It's not looking good. I'm not sure we're going to go green this lap. We may spin another lap under the safety car just to let this man here catch the back of the grid. He's down to 25 seconds. But you don't make a lot of time up in the corners. You make it up on the straights under the safety car. 20 seconds. Nah, he's not going to catch, so we're not going to go green until lap 10. And for the drivers who started on the soft tires, this is a blessing and a curse because their softs are going to be able to continue to go farther and farther. But at the same time, they're also going to continue to look worse and worse as we get deeper into this race. All right, Worson is now close to about 6 seconds out the back of the grid, so we'll see him catch on the run downhill, and it will be a very, very long extra pace lap here. Alright, so now we should get word that we'll be going green as the leaders cross this sector. Yep, there's the word. Safety car officially will be coming in this lap. Matrix in 12th, Torpedo in 4th. So in the championship fight, that would be a 12-point swing in Torpedo's favor. It would close the gap from 40 points to 38 points. Keep him a little bit closer, but still not where he would want to be. Torpedo, honestly, he wants to finish podium, if not win, all of these remaining races in the season, have a serious shot against Matrix, or have Matrix DNF some of these closing 3 races. Pace car is pulled way ahead. Lowe is already opening up the gap a bit on Ozda. Coming near the green flag, he has to jump hard into the brakes in the final chicane. Ozda sucks right back up behind the AlphaTauri. Twitch from the lead AlphaTauri as they come to the green flag. Ozda is there. 2 tenths coming in at the line into the hairpin. Does Ozda make a dive? No, he thinks better of it. But the AlphaTauri is wide, and Ozda, Worson's back in the pit, so something must have gone wrong for Worson, and this means again he'll still be at risk of maybe going to lap down. But we come to the green flag going uphill now through Al Rouge and Rodillion. Top 3 keep everything together. Matrix gets by Beastian farther back, just on the run down to Al Rouge. So Matrix already up into 11th as Kinsey and Jigsaw fight for 9th and 10th. Jigsaw completes the overtake. Beastian on the outside of Matrix. Does he commit? No, he's not going to commit because Matrix is going to just drift ahead of him and slam that door shut. Back at the grid, all stuck in a nice single file line right now. A bit of a spread has formed between Flavor in 5th and Smoothie in 6th. Smoothie not able to keep up with Flavor right now, it would appear, as Flavor is putting some latent pressure on Torpedo. Torpedo has lost touch with the top 3. Frisbee is now the one putting pressure on Ozda for 2nd. That's what Lowe wants to see, because he knows that he can probably keep that Haas behind him until Kingdom Come. Yellow flag, Collie Boy. And with that in mind, VSC is back out and Collie Boy will DNF. No points for Mercedes once again. Not going to get a shot of Collie Boy's car, it seems. And level 6 Beastian now gets a drive-through penalty for speeding under the virtual safety car. So this was not going to help him whatsoever. Still under VSC for the moment. And now Torpedo has a time penalty for track violations. That's not going to help him with his finish. Green flag, back out. For Beastian, this will be more than a little bit frustrating because he'll have to serve a drive-through and he still needs to get off these tires as well. Jigsaw now gets a time penalty as Matrix blitz by Kinsey Retro going into Al Rouge. That Ferrari is probably more than a little bit scared and concerned over what he just saw happen there. Zola overtakes his teammate Dragon down the straight. Look at this 3-car train, Beastian, Hurricane, Gabo. Does anyone make a move on anyone? Ryan thinks of it. Gabo misses the braking zone, will actually lose a bit of time on both of them. Now Torpedo has actually closed in on Frisbee, and Frisbee's been disconnected. So the lead Haas today, Frisbee, has been disconnected, and if he's disconnected for more than 30 seconds, there is a high risk that he will get DNF or disqualified from the race. But Torpedo caught him at a bad point, and now Flavor is putting pressure on Torpedo. Flavor driving a race of his life right now. And that's Smoothie just behind the Red Bull. And we should be seeing DRS enabled shortly. Car off circuit. That's Gabo who's gone off farther back there. Ryan, Beastian, Kinsey all on top. Ryan makes a big dive on Beastian as Beastian had to let up there. I think Beastian's tires have basically given up the ghost. Flavor by Torpedo. And now Torpedo loses position to Smoothie as well. He's coming in. There's something wrong with that AlphaTauri. And for Matrix, this is perfect as he'll overtake him on track, and Matrix will now be into the points, and for Torpedo will be out. Beastie and Torpedo both in pit lane right now. Now Worsen may be able to overtake one, if not both of them. Ryan Hurricane now overtakes Kinsey, so both Haas's into the points right now. Farther up, Smoothie trying to close in on Flavor, but he has more fight to deal with from behind because that's XRL Zola behind him. And Flavor is outrunning Smoothie right now. Most of the gaps on track have opened up quite a bit at this stage of the race. Boy, Smoothie trying desperately to get within DRS of Flavor so he can use that as a defense against Zola. And despite the fact that Flavor is on the oldest soft tire compounds, Flavor's biggest skill in this league has been preserving tires, although now Smoothie is closing back in on Flavor a bit. So it looks like Smoothie might just get DRS and be able to use that as a defense against Zola. Flavor into the pits. He wants off those tires. And this will drop him well down the order. But still, this is looking like it will be a great run for him today. Zola and Frisbee, 3rd and 5th, the next drivers that we are anticipating will have to get off their tires sooner rather than later. And Frisbee, like Flavor, started on tires that he set his qualifying laps on. Frisbee currently 4 seconds out of the 2nd position. Ozda now has a time penalty in 2nd, so 1st and 2nd are now even on time penalties. Matrix closing in on Dragon once again, wants 7th position back. Four tenths now in Matrix's favor, and it's looking like just with a simple DRS, he'll easily be able to overtake the McLaren. And with Torpedo out of the points and Matrix in the points right now, it makes it more and more likely the Matrix could lock up the title today. Farther up, Jigsaw right there behind Zola. We know Zola's tires are hurting. Those are the tires he started on. Jigsaw's mediums can still go for a bit, but Jigsaw does have a time penalty, Zola does not. And Zola is sandwiched between 2 Alpines. But Jigsaw has DRS on Zola. Zola does not have it on Smoothie right now. As Matrix did not overtake Dragon down the start-finish straight, but he's within half a second on the run down to Al Rouge Radillion. Torpedo's just set the fastest lap as Jigsaw overtakes Zola with some DRS. Will Matrix do the same to Dragon? He's closing down the straight, but was not able to get close enough to pull alongside into the braking zone. So Matrix continues to hang out in the 8th position right now. Alpines run 4th and 5th, McLaren 6th and 7th. Haas 3rd and 9th. Ozza closing the gap just a bit between himself and Lowe, but still over a second at the moment. Now, Jigsaw is closing on his teammate, Smoothie. Alpine's nose to tail. Do they fight for a position going into the braking zone? The answer, you know, because Jigsaw will just walk by Smoothie before they even get to the braking zone. And now Zola might have a chance to try and DRS by the Alpine. Doesn't look like it's going to work. And Dragon and Matrix are closing in on this fight as well. So about 5-car train from 4th to 8th is formed. Zola hanging out behind Smoothie right now. Matrix really lets the car breathe going through Al Rouge Radillion. I think he's just so scared of doing something that ends up totaling his car, making him spin there, that he's just being hyper cautious. Because of that, it kills his ability to pull up alongside the McLarens ahead. Gabo gets by Kinsey now, so Williams swaps with the Ferrari to get into the points. Zola hangs out in 6th for the moment, behind Smoothie, as Jigsaw's already walked away from this. So Smoothie seems to be fading on these tires more than Jigsaw is. No one in the top 7 has pitted yet in this race. Right on board with Matrix again, who's at the back of this 4-car train. Smoothie followed by the McLarens of Zola and Dragon and Matrix. Matrix really off there. Dragon off circuit, right in front of Matrix. Is there damage on Dragon's car? Matrix, good thing he let out, because otherwise he would have ran right to the back of the McLaren. Your race leader Lowe's coming into the pits now, as is Ozda. First and second coming into the pits. Pit road's about to become super busy. Matrix looks to the inside. Does he make a move on Dragon? No, but I think Dragon's damaged. Yes, Dragon's coming into the pits now. Frisbee, now your race leader. Jigsaw moves up into 2nd, Smoothie 3rd, Zola 4th. Matrix, though, was held up by the McLaren a bit. Going to lose a bit of time, but he now goes up into 5th position. 2 seconds, though, out from Zola. This also works out well for Flavor, because now he's able to pass some of the drivers that he was dealing with earlier. He's now back up into the points in 10th. Lowe gets by Ryan Hurricane. Easy DRS overtake. BCM by Dragon for 13th position. Dragon sliding into the tire barriers. Lucky that it didn't total the car. Zola just outside of DRS range. Ozda now in position that he has to get by Ryan Hurricane as quickly as possible, because he is acting as a block between himself and the driver who was leading, XRL Lowe. Big twitch for Ryan Hurricane ahead of Ozda there. Both cars run just a little bit wide. Ozda has a lot of pace on the Haas. Nothing that Ryan can do to fight back. Ozda now by, but he is outside of DRS range of Lowe, the man he's trying to fight for what will be the eventual lead of the race. .3 seconds between Lowe and Ozda right now. Ozda, we've seen him come back from instance earlier to charge back up and take a win at Brazil early in the season. Now he's trying to go for a 2nd victory thus far this year. Torpedo sets the fastest lap, 148.839. So while he's out of the points right now, he is absolutely blitzing it on lap times at the moment. Beastian coming out, coming into pit lane, paying out of the 13th spot now, and they will throw on a different set of rubber, probably. We've not got more waves put on yet. Zola has pretty much caught Smoothie, though, for 3rd. And Beastians, they've thrown on a set of fresh sauce for that machine right now. Haas, Alpine, McLaren, your top 4, and all 4 of them are anticipated to pit sooner rather than later. Zola and Frisbee on tires that they started this race on. Frisbee, not only did he start this race on these tires, those are tires that he set his Q2 time on. And Jigsaw knows, and he is closing with respectable speed right now. Low within DRS range now of Matrix. Matrix still hounding Zola, and Ozda is there as well. This could get really interesting. Frisbee into the pits. No, Frisbee's not in the pits. Jigsaw's overtaking Frisbee on track by Merritt. Lowe trying to get by Matrix right now. Matrix being held up by Zola. Ozda is there. This could be big twitch from Lowe. Lowe, big twitch. Here comes Ozda. Drag race. This could be for the race win. Ozda just set the fastest lap of the race, and he is going to, by going around the inside, get by Lowe. This might be the move that gives Ozda the win, and they're around, and they both go into the wall. Lowe and Ozda, And this is great news for Frisbee, because Frisbee, that means when he makes his stop, he will be well ahead of both of these drivers now. And Lowe is going to have to tiptoe the car around the entire circuit to get back to the lead. Get back to the pits. This is absolutely thrown the entire race into the air. Lowe misses the brakings at the end of the back stretch. And now he still has to navigate Sector 2 and Sector 3 with no front wing. Crests the curb, Kinsey's gonna go by, and he'll obviously let his teammate Torpedo go by without too much issue, I imagine. Torpedo will be somewhat happy about this. This gets him back into the points. As Torpedo's now into 9th now. Haas around, Ryan Hurricane in 6th. Well off circuit, no one on track with him though. Matrix fighting on Zola now. Ryan Hurricane, 10-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. I'm sure that might get stripped later. Flavor gets by Low, so that promotes Flavor up into 9th now. For a lead, Frisbee not lost too much pace off of Jigsaw this lap, but he still is continuing to sweat these tires out. Matrix continues to hold on behind Zola. But it's plain that Matrix is just a second faster than anyone else around the circuit here. Torpedo now trying to fight on him. Ozda coming into the pits. Ozda, you better make sure that you recorded that instant that happened. Matrix charging on Zola. Both McLaren and Alfa Romeo make a mistake. Zola gets a time penalty. Matrix has DRS and draft. This should be an easy overtake. Side by side for 4th. Matrix up to 4th now. And now Matrix sets his sights on the Alpine of Smoothie. Frisbee holding steady about 2/3 to 3/4 of a second behind Jigsaw, despite being on very, very worn tires. And every lap that passed, I'm more and more impressed at how far Frisbee is dragging this set of soft rubber. Similar to Zola, but Zola also impressive because Zola's come from starting near dead last up to 5th, and he's not made a stop yet. Now the gap opens up between 1st and 2nd to over a second. And that will be good news for Jigsaw, because that means he doesn't have to worry about the Haas and can start trying to outrun him. Matrix, though, still a second faster than anyone else, I believe, except for Ozda, and Ozda's just had an incident. So, Smoothie coming into the pits. Fastest lap thus far is Ozda still, 13th, 148. Matrix, well, Zola's pitted also, and has Frisbee. So, well, no, Zola's not pitted, sorry, Matrix has gone by, but Frisbee has pitted and is now throwing on medium rubber. And Frisbee still in the fight for this win, potentially, because the men he was on pace with, Ozda and Lowe, have now been relegated out of the points-paying positions at the moment. Frisbee ends up right behind Torpedo on racetrack. And of the 4 drivers ahead of Frisbee right now, 3 of them have time penalties. The only one who doesn't, Matrix. I think Matrix is en route to winning this race. The real fight's going to be for 2nd. Dragon, who pitted what felt like some time ago, running in 11th right now, trying to challenge Mr. Worsen. Dragon got close to nearly getting knocked out due to an incident hitting the tire wall, but was able to come in, fix the damage, put on new rubber. Out of the points now, trying to get back in. Look at this fight for 4th, though. Frisbee is mashing Torpedo pace by pace through Sector 2. In fact, maybe slightly beating him. But now we're in Sector 3. It's more of a straightaway. This is where the benefit goes in his favor. Gabo has spun in Sector 3. Sector 2, sorry. Zola pitting out of the top 3 now. So this fight here now becomes a fight for 3rd. Frisbee has DRS and is able to use that to keep pace with Torpedo down the straights. Frisbee is on 8-lap fresher tires than the AlphaTauri and seems to be the strongest car, or one of the strongest, in Sector 2 right now. But running downhill to Al Rouge once more. Torpedo over Frisbee. Oz is just at the fastest lap there in 12th, 147.216. So he is driving in anger and vengeance right now. Lucky for Ozza, there's no one else on track with him right now. It's clean laps for him. Frisbee tried to send it on Torpedo. Torpedo made a mistake. Contact potentially. No guarantee. Torpedo holds on in 3rd, Frisbee in 4th still. Farther back, Flavor is closing in on Kinsey Retro, and Flavor wants to get back into the 5th spot where he's been running for the first part of the race. Top 5. Kinsey on 20 lap worn mediums, Flavor only 7 laps wear. Twitch from the Ferrari ahead. Flavor being really cautious though, running behind Kinsey. He doesn't want the aerodynamic wake to upset his machine. And Smoothie 25 is behind both of them right now. Now we see Flavor barreling down on the Ferrari in the straights. Smoothie dives to the inside Flavor. Does he commit? He cannot commit. Now Ryan Hurricane is back there in 8th. So while Flavor has caught Kinsey, he does not seem to have the speed or confidence to overtake the Ferrari at the moment. Real nice close by Flavor there, though. In the hairpin. He needs to be full commitment going through Al Rouge Rodillion to overtake the Ferrari. This will look good. He's right behind him. DRS opens. He goes around the outside. Smoothie is just behind as well. He's going to go to the inside to overtake the Ferrari. Make a Hakkinen style. Flavor now up into 5th. Smoothie in 6th. And Kinsey falls to 7th. Now under threat from the Haas of Ryan Hurricane behind. So Alpine cars running very respectably today. Jigsaw and Kinsey Retro, the only 2 men who are still on the same set of tires they started the race on, are ranked 1st and 7th right now. But Kinsey is hemorrhaging pace at the moment. Ryan right behind the Ferrari, looks to the outside, drag race into the corner, and around the outside he'll complete the overtake. And next up will be Mr. Worsen and Dragon. Dragon still has not been able to get by Worsen. Worsen, another time penalty trying to hold the McLaren off. So Kinsey now falling like a stone. He has burned up all the best in that rubber. Big twitch from the Ferrari. Worsen looks to the inside, to the outside. How's the Haas commit to going around? Far outside. Very nearly had contact, but Kinsey has to let him go. I think Kinsey has to pit this lap. Those tires look dead. Nope, he stays for another lap on circuit. But the lack of pace he has, this means that both Dragon and Zola will likely get by him and will put both of the McLarens back in the points-paying positions. Oh! And Dragon runs right in the back of Kinsey Retro. They both run wide. Dragon has wing damage, and Kinsey may now have a punctured tire. Dragon sends it irregardless, though. He is going for it. He'll blitz by Kinsey. I don't know if Dragon realizes there's wing damage. He's off, going in Al Rouge and Rodillion. Really rough time there. Kinsey trying to fight back, and Zola is fighting back as well, faster than both of them. Kinsey to the inside of Dragon, easy overtake. Zola will follow suit and will overtake his teammate in the braking zone as well, as now Dragon has wounded his car, not able to get by. Now Ozda has a chance to try and crack back into the points. Easy overtake over the wounded McLaren. And Kinsey holds on to 8th for a fraction of another lap. Smoothie got by Flavor without too much issue farther up. Smoothie on significantly fresher tires. Second freshest out of everyone in the top 8 right now. The real question, though, in my mind at least, Jigsaw. Still on the same set of tires he started with. When does he come into pit? He has made over half the race on this set of rubber. I think he's going to try and one-stop medium to soft. I think that's probably Kinsey in 8th place. I think that's his strategy also. But Kinsey does not seem to have the pace necessary to make that work. Ozda's gotten by Zola, and now he's charging on Kinsey. Easy overtake. Now it's Zola's turn. Ferrari can't even seem to hold a apex anymore. Tires have just gone off that hard. Ferrari uses the DRS off of Ozda as a defense against Zola for the moment. Dragon makes it into the pits to repair the damage now. Running downhill. Kinsey's still within DRS. Oh, and Torpedo's just gotten by Frisbee. It's taken a while, but with some DRS, he's by the Haas. So Torpedo now up into 3rd, but he's still 10 seconds out from Matrix in 2nd and with a time penalty, and Frisbee is not letting the AlphaTauri go because Sector 2 is where he's at the strongest. Kinsey holds off Zola for a little bit longer. Ozda says thank you very much. He's already walking away from this fight. Very much appreciate it. But of note, Ozda's on soft tires. Those tires will be falling off sooner rather than later. He's going to have to pit again. Oh, Twitch! And that's Ozda right ahead of these two! And somehow, Kinsey and Zola both avoid Ozda, and Ozda's already back underway without incident. That was a spin and a save for Ozda, and he keeps it going. So as long as the tires aren't completely burned up and overheated from that spin, Ozda can get right back to it. But he's going to have to get by that Ferrari and McLaren again. Another lap. Jigsaw has not pitted. Zola right behind Kinsey this time. Goes around the inside, holds it neck and neck. Nothing that Kinsey can do. Now here comes Ozda. He'll blitz by the Ferrari as well. The Ferrari has no grip in the corners. He's completely missing every apex. The tires are burnt. Kinsey, you've got to pit. The top car is going to kill itself if you stay out any longer. And he stays out again. I think Kinsey wants a caution, but he's not going to realize that if this keeps up like this, he's going to be the caution. Farther up, Frisbee. DRS on the AlphaTauri of Torpedo. The slowest car in a straight line, trying to outdrag the fastest with some DRS help. He's done it. Frisbee back into 3rd. Ryan Hurricane. Oh, Ozda now making a move on Zola. Easy overtake as Ryan Hurricane right there behind Flavor, but can't get by the Red Bull yet. But Ozda, easy overtake by Zola. Zola sends it in hard under braking. Forces Ozda to run wide in the following corner. It doesn't matter. Ozda takes the position back. Ozda back into 8th where he was this point last lap. Now it's just a matter of he needs to not spin again. No spin this time for Ozda. Now he starts to open up a bit. Kinsey now has to deal with Lowe behind. Lowe, the driver who started on the pole, trying to just get back in. Oh, and Lowe runs right in the back of Kinsey. He did not realize how slow he is, and Dragon's out. Dragon has crashed out there at the end of the back straightaway. VSC is out. Perfect news for Lowe, though, because that means he won't lose as much time when he pits. Jigsaw comes in the pits, basically a free half of a pit stop, and Dragon is out. Matrix now inherits the race lead. Jigsaw and Torpedo both pit under the virtual safety car. Smoothie's gonna stay out. Frisbee gets a drive-through for speed out of the safety car. And with that, it's over. Race is over. over, Matrix wins! Matrix will now win this race because no one else on the same strategy or pace is even close to him now. Coming in the party now is XRL Dragon. Dragon, go ahead and include your audio. Fantastic qualifying, but we saw earlier in the race, you kind of ran wide in Sector 2, knocked the end off the front wing, came back, looked like you were recovering, and now you're all together. What happened? And Frisbee's out! Frisbee is now crashed out!
Coming into the chicane, I caught the exit curb on the first part of the chicane. It just spun me around, put me into the wall. I was passenger at that point. Absolutely nothing I could do. Needless to say, though, the car felt fantastic today. It was running really well. I was really confident that we could get there. Just silly driver mistake. That's all it was.
Alright, well, with only 2 races left in the season, what do you think the upper ceiling for the McLaren is going to be going forward?
I could see Zola breaking into the top 5, possibly the top 4 in the drivers. I could see McLaren if a couple of things break our way and we can both put up some solid points. I could see us elevating to 6th, possibly 5th in the constructors. But a lot of things are going to have to start cutting our way.
Alright, well, thanks for being willing to jump in and talk with us, mate.
Not a problem. Thanks a lot.
Alright, also coming into the party is Frisbee. Frisbee, go ahead and include your audio. Giant accident, and that came right after you were given a drive-through penalty. What happened? Was it just frustration distracting you and causing an accident, or was there something else fundamentally wrong with that car?
Stupid drive-through. I had 7 points going into the goal.
Alright, can you say that all again, but louder, because you have, like, no volume.
Sorry. Is that better?
No, I can barely hear you.
Now?
That's a little bit better.
Okay. Yeah, but I just pushed too hard because I was trying to get somewhat of a gap to the mateys in P5 because I got a stupid drive-through. I went into the corner with 7 tenths and I came out with nothing, so that was a bit annoying.
Yeah. Well, knocked out of the race. Well, you were talking a lot about how you found something in the SEP that made the car a lot more capable in the straight lines here. Do you think, if not for that the drive-through and then subsequent accident, do you think a podium could have still been in the cards?
I think I was actually leading that race there.
Matrix had you beat on pace.
Yeah, but I think he had to pit again. I didn't have to pit.
Nope, he may have to pit again. Yeah, this is true.
Yeah, I didn't have to pit. He had to pit again, so I thought I was actually in the lead. And then I was just working with the Alfred Towery because that car was ridiculous in the straight, and then I died.
Alright, it's a shame to see you knocked out like this, mate. 1 Haas left. Do you think he can still bring home some points?
Yeah, should be. I don't think there are even going to be 10 people to finish the race to be finished, to be honest. You should definitely be able to score some points.
Alright, well, I do want to say thanks for being willing to jump in and talk with us, mate.
Yep.
Alright, so at the front, Matrix is now pitted. This will be the last pit, and Lowe is out! Lowe has crashed out now! And with that in mind, we are now down to just 12 cars as Lowe has now crashed out. There's only 1 AlphaTauri left, and that is Torpedo. So all of a sudden, like a click, like a snap of your fingers, cars and drivers start dropping like flies here at Spot Francorchamps as we are now down to only 12 cars left. Ryan Hurricanes, and he's now going to pit out of 8th. Matrix is 2nd right now, 13 seconds out from Jigsaw, with tires are slightly fresher than Jigsaw's. Torpedo overtakes Smoothie down the straight. So Torpedo now in 3rd. And Ozda now gonna blitz by Flavor. Ozda recovering from the accident he had with Lowe earlier today. I think Ozda will be very happy to know, though, that the man he got into it with, Lowe, has crashed out altogether now. But Ozda will have to pit again before this race is over. Of that, there is no doubt, sadly. Well, at this point, the field's pretty much spread out with the exception of this here. Torpedo finally sees Matrix racetrack. He's just outside of DRS range, though. Matrix has tires that are just slightly fresher than Torpedo. How hard does your second in championship fight to try and catch Matrix here? Torpedo recovering from instance earlier in the day. Matrix recovering from a bad qualifying run, and they're now ranked second and third on track. Torpedo just slightly better than Matrix on ERS. But Matrix just seems to be so much better with that car than anyone else in their machines. Already he's just opened up 3/10 in a straightaway alone. Torpedo closing back in. He's within a second, but he was not in that point by the time they got to the DRS. Just above 3/4 between Torpedo and Matrix right now. And Jigsaw, who had a little incident of his own earlier, he's now leading this race. And if Matrix spends a bunch of this remaining time fighting with Torpedo, Jigsaw might walk out of here with the win. BCMP now 12th position. They'll throw on some medium tires, and those will last him to the end of this race. Torpedo hanging out about 9/10 behind Matrix right now. He needs to maintain this gap when they get to the DRS zone so he can close down even further. Again, DRS and just straightaways in general is where the AlphaTauri is at strongest at. Incident, worsen in 10th. Spins in Sector 2. No damage, doesn't hit anything, but this means that Gabo might be able to sneak by him to get 10th. Ooh, Torpedo really sends it into the hairpin, but misses the corner in the process. Now Torpedo opens the gap up just a bit going down the hill. But Torpedo's within DRS range. He's within 6/10 of Matrix. Matrix really slow through Al Rouge Rodillion. Matrix, he just wants to finish in the podium. Here comes Torpedo. Big charge, big drive, overtake down the straight. But Matrix does not have time penalties. Torpedo still does. In fact, Torpedo 3 seconds, Jigsaw 6, Matrix none. Now Gabo gets by Mr. Worsen. As we see Worsen trying to deal with those tires after, spinning with them. He's now 11th. So Williams is in the points paying positions now. Looks like our top four finishers are all locked in where they are right now. Jigsaw, Torpedo, Matrix, and then Smoothie. I don't think any of those drivers will worry about paying again. 5th place, Ozda is one of the fastest drivers on track. Pretty much the only guy who's keeping pace with Matrix. But Ozda will have to pit again. These tires will not last the race. And oh, Matrix just got a time penalty. But yeah, Ozda will have to pit again. And when he pits again, he'll drop down the order quite a bit, without a doubt. The fight will probably be between Flavor, Zola, and Ozda for 5th right now. Matrix has DRS on Torpedo going down the straight here. So he's not letting the AlphaTauri go away yet. Matrix knows that even if Torpedo finishes ahead of him, he has a 40-point lead. If they finish where they are now, the gap would only close by about 3 seconds and 3 points in Torpedo's favor. And having a 37-point gap going into the last 2 races, well, that just means as long as Matrix finishes near the front, he'll be good regardless of what Torpedo does. No overtake attempt by the Alfa Romeo yet, though. But he is burning through his ERS, while Torpedo's being relatively conservative with his. But Matrix's tires are about 2 laps fresher than what Torpedo and your race leader Jigsaw have at the moment. Also of note, Ozda, he's now close to about 1.3 seconds out from Smoothie. But Smoothie, who is reigning in 4th right now on medium rubber, has no time penalties. Ozda does have time penalties to deal with right now. Boy, Matrix really laying it in on Torpedo right now. Jigsaw has caught Beastian and is threatening to put him a lap down at this point in the event. But Beastian has tires that he knows will be fine. That's not the case for Jigsaw. Yellow flag, Sector 2, that's Worsen. He has gotten back underway already, though, but this basically solidifies Gabbo's position in 10th on track right now. But Ozda has caught Smoothie in the same way that Matrix has caught Torpedo. How aggressively does Matrix fight to try and get by? I don't think he's going to worry too much about it. I think he's just content to finish right behind Torpedo because he knows if he does that, title becomes more and more in his favor. Ozda, though, not the same case. He goes into the grass, overtaking the grass, passing the grass, Dale Earnhardt Sr. style for XRL Ozda. Very nice and smooth against the man with smooth in his name. Ozda now just trying to outrun what will eventually be an inevitable final pit stop because these tires will not last to the end. He knows that. Everyone knows that. But Ozda is making hay right now. If Ozda pitted now, he would be able to go another 12 laps on another set of softs to the end, assuming he has a fresh set of softs left in the car. If not, they may just have some scuff softs left over from qualifying. He may have to go an extra lap or two. Mr. Worsen paying out of 11, so it seems like at this point, Gabbo is locked into 10th, assuming nothing crazy happens at this point in the event. And we see Mr. Worsen, he's in pit lane now. Beastian will overtake him, and Jigsaw will now put him a lap down. Ozda 10 seconds out from Matrix in 3rd. Zola making a run on Flavor at the moment. Flavor on very worn medium tires, Zola on significantly less worn tires. No real hustle from Zola right now, and Worsen's out! Worsen's out, Flavor missed the hairpin, and Zola goes by. And Worsen is out now of the race. Right now, Red Bull's looking good because they're the only team with 2 cars left on the track. But as I say that, Beastian isn't even in points-paying positions right now. Zola is now by Flavor. But right now, Flavor's just nursing these very worn tires to the end of this race. And with Dragon out for Flavor, I think we can definitely say that in that little spat and that feud the two of them have had since Yas Marina early in the season, Flavor, without a doubt, has turned out ahead of Dragon, overtaking him in the points and being able to finish races where Dragon has not. Very solid, considering that these two, not in great stance with each other, trying to beat each other on the track. While Dragon's had a lot more pace, he's just not been able to transfer that pace into race finishes. Smoothie's still hanging out behind Ozda in the same way that Matrix is still hanging out behind Torpedo. I think Smoothie knows that Ozda's tires are starting to fall off a cliff, and he wants to sneak back by sooner rather than later, if at all possible. Torpedo is slowly closing on Jigsaw, and there's a 3-second time penalty in favor of Torpedo, who only has 3 seconds, while Jigsaw has 6 right now. So it's not over yet for Jigsaw. It's looking good, but it's not over yet, and if the gap closes at a fast enough rate, Torpedo could still walk out here with the win. The problem, though, for Torpedo is that Matrix is still running in 3rd. And with Matrix finishing in the podium, it puts him in a great position. Smoothie is just DRS overtake Ozda down the straightaway. Ozda now gets a time penalty dealing with the aero wake of that car. That's not going to help him going forward. But most of the fights on the track have pretty much evaporated. Smoothie and Ozda are fighting for position, but we know Smoothie has this position in the bag because Ozda is going to have to pit. These tires will not last the remaining 10 laps of this race. Already we can see Ozda's pace starting to fall off a bit. Also of note, Kinsey in 9th place is on the same set of medium tires he started this race on. And it has gotten him, well, 9th, but it's not looking great for him because Gabo in 10th is closing on him. But as long as he does come into the pits at some point and make a tire swap, he will be in a position where he'll still walk out here with a point for the Ferrari team. That's better than the rival team of Alpha, well, that's better than the rival team of Williams. Well, might be even with the rival team of Williams. But it's going to mean nothing considering that, although there's only 1 car left, the AlphaTauri team is running 2nd on track right now. Might even get 1st. Ozda's still right there behind. The Alpine actually has speed coming out of Rodillion. He's got the position, and he has DRS. He'll use that to try and pull. So this fight for 4th is not over yet. And Smoothie's like, come on, man, stay behind me. And Ozda's not happy with that idea. Problem for Ozda, though, time penalties are starting to add up for him. 9 seconds worth right now. Jigsaw, another time penalty, and now it's starting to turn. The shifting of the tide is now putting us in a position where Torpedo might be able to steal a victory off of your race leader XRL Jigsaw. That would be great for Torpedo. Not ideal, but it'd be a lot better than where he is now. Because if he could keep Matrix behind, then that means that he would close the gap in points, not by 3 points, but by 7. Changing it from a 40-point gap as it is now, down to a 33-point. Wouldn't be enough to really change anything right off the bat, but it would help. BCM moves aside to let Torpedo and Matrix by. Matrix now beginning to put pressure, though, on Torpedo. I think Matrix smells blood in the water from the lead, and Matrix says, hey, if I can go for the win, I'll do it. Taking alternate lines, but Matrix has DRS down the straight this time. Could we see a overtake for 2nd position? At the end of the straight, the answer, not this time. But Matrix is putting incredible pressure on his title rival right now, knowing that he can just finish behind him and still be in a good position going to season end. Smoothie behind Ozda, but not close enough to get by him this time. Kinsey pitting out of 9th position, so he will fall behind Gabo into 10th, but Kinsey will now have the ability to put on soft tires and potentially steal fastest lap point. Ooh! Ozda washed up a bit. Here comes Smoothie, and he's by. But while these two have been fighting, Smoothie has now fallen to 21 seconds out from the top 3. Yep, Kinsey now on softs, and he can run those softs to race in, absolutely punish the tires if need be. Just needs to be careful through Al Rouge Rodillion the first time around when the tires are still cold. Navigates it successfully. Jigsaw still out on circuit. Unsurprisingly, we anticipate he'll run these tires to the race in. They'll be in a bad position, but he's going to run to the race in. Torpedo is closing As it stands right now, when it comes to time penalties, 6 seconds more for Jigsaw than Torpedo. If Torpedo can close in by another 1.1 seconds, he'll have the race win. Matrix knows this, and he knows if he can do the same thing. Smoothie is just pitted. Well, I didn't see that coming, but Smoothie has just elected to pit. And something's happened to Gabo as well in 9th. He's back underway, though. But Torpedo is closing with speed on Jigsaw, and Matrix is now putting the pressure on Torpedo. So the fight for the win is still alive as we speak. Flavor into the pits now. I think Flavor wants to throw on some sauce. I think a lot of people are betting on late race yellow and trying to rely on fresher tires now, so that way if the late race yellow comes, they can move up the grid a bit. This will put Flavor behind Gabo on track, though, and will drop Flavor to 9th. Not indicative of where his pace has been, where he's been a top 6 car all day. Torpedo just 9/10 out of a possible victory here. As Jigsaw, his tires are starting to fade on him. We anticipate Torpedo's tires will be fading also. Matrix has tires that are slightly fresher, but Matrix has spent almost the entire time in the aero wake of the AlphaTauri, and that's not going to help him. Matrix just hounding Torpedo right now. Downhill, coming to Al Rouge Rodillion once more. Ozda pitting out 4th. We knew it was coming. It's finally come now. But because of Smoothie's pitting, it means that the fight between Ozda and Smoothie for that position is still up in the air. Zola might be able to walk out here with 5th as well. Torpedo now just half a second out from the win over Jigsaw. Ozda will plummet to about 7th on the track. And we'll try and use these faster tires to outrun Smoothie, Ryan Hurricane, and Zola ahead. But Smoothie has no time penalties, while Ozda has plenty of them. And I think Smoothie is going to be the net victor in this scenario. Yep, Ozda already by Smoothie down the straight. Now it's on colder tires, so Ozda seems to have more pace than Smoothie. But again, time penalties will go in the Alpine's favor. Now Ozda sets his sight on Ryan Hurricane farther up, and Hurricane is in the Haas. So I imagine Ozda, who has been really performing well with the Aston Martin, will close without too much issue. Another fight for position is this is for 8th and 9th. Flavor has DRS and draft off of the Williams of Gabo, but is not closing fast enough to make an overtake this time. But I think Flavor has the tire advantage over Gabo, who is on very warm mediums. Also, Flavor has no time penalties, Gabo does. This could still work out well for Flavor. I think an 8th place finish is in the cards for him. Matrix really hounding Torpedo. He's alongside of him as they go downhill. Side by side for 2nd. This will be for the fight for the win. Matrix puts the nose ahead. Who backs out? Matrix does. Matrix will go for the win if he thinks he can, but he's not willing to throw away a potential 2nd place finish if it means that it will cost him a finish. Ozda already by Ryan Hurricane in the chicane. Now he sets his sights on Zola, who's only 2.5 seconds up the road, and Zola is on very warm mediums. Jigsaw's lead has absolutely plummeted and reduced itself. Right now, the only thing Jigsaw can hope for is that Torpedo and Matrix take each other out while fighting, and they are fighting like mad right now. Torpedo has a half-second gap over Matrix this time. Gabo has just pitted, so that automatically promotes Flavor up into 8th now. And this means that Kinsey might be able to still finish 9th. Matrix now within 4/10 of Torpedo. He's a little stronger than the AlphaTauri in Sector 2. DRS for Matrix down the front straightaway. Can't really use it to overtake. Ozda already by Zola. Oh, and they make contact and Zola's around! And off into the dirt! No bueno for Zola. He is going to get going again, but he'll lose positions to Ryan Hurricane and Smoothie in the process. And Zola will not be happy with how that turned out for sure. Smoothie trying to make a run on Ryan now. At the front. Torpedo and Matrix still fighting. Nothing from Matrix yet. How aggressively does Matrix push? Well, Ozza just took fastest lap despite that contact with Zola. Incredible. Ozza trying to outrun Smoothie so he can lock up 4th place finish for himself right now. Smoothie by Ryan Hurricane, as Ryan is on very worn softs and Smoothie is on fresh softs. Easy overtake with some DRS assist. How aggressively does Matrix push to get by Torpedo as we ride on board your points leader? Gap between 1st and 2nd, now less than 5 seconds. So Torpedo all but has this race won, assuming he doesn't get any more time penalties. But that's the other thing. If Matrix can force Torpedo to get a time penalty, then Matrix would end up being the driver winning this race. 4 laps to go at the line. Matrix has a run on Torpedo. Down the front straightaway. Looks to the inside. Won't commit. But it's plain to see that Matrix is faster than Torpedo at this stage in the race. He's staying right behind him. Going through Al Rouge Rodillion. Backs off just a little bit so as not to let the aero weight kill him. But now Matrix will have DRS and draft going down the straight. Ozda, another time penalty in 4th. That basically guarantees Smoothie will finish in 4th, assuming he doesn't wreck out. Again, Matrix not willing to push to get by Torpedo. I don't know if he's waiting for a last lap overtake or what. Or maybe he's just playing it safe. We saw these two being the ones fighting for the win at Baku. Every time it's a fight between these two on track, Torpedo almost always beats Matrix, but it doesn't matter because when it's not a direct fight on track, Matrix is just way faster than everyone else, and he just automatically cruises into top 7 finishes without issue pretty much. Torpedo needs something to go wrong with Matrix in these closing laps, otherwise there is no chance, well, a significantly reduced chance that he'll have a shot at this title still. Zola has pitted, and this now plummets him down to the 9th position. Well, 8th position. Nope, 9th. He'll be behind Kinsey Retro. And with the time penalties factored in as well, it's likely that Kinsey's going to walk here with 8th. Gap between 1st and 2nd now down to 4 seconds. Zola overtakes Kinsey with DRS down the backstretch without issue, but again, Kinsey, no time penalties. That position will likely go back in his favor unless Zola rips off a series of amazing laps in these final 3 circuits. Matrix behind Torpedo again. Not as close this time, and he's definitely not pushing to get by the AlphaTauri. But I have to wonder, maybe has he burned the best off the rubber being stuck behind Torpedo this entire time? Zola, incident, Sector 2. And this drops the McLaren, and there's wing damage, significant wing damage as well. This drops the McLaren down to 10th and might end up trapping him a lap down. And if he takes long enough in the pits, he might lose a points paying position to Beastian. And Zola and Dragon both swearing up and down that this was going to be a points day for them. Well, now it may only look like a point day, and maybe not even that. This L has come unraveled for the remaining McLaren driver here. Matrix still there behind Torpedo within a third of a second. Still has not made an attempt to properly get by. Now Zola is into the pits. BCM 36 seconds out from Zola right now, though, so Zola might just barely hold on to a points-paying position. But he will go a lap down. 2 laps to go at the moment. Matrix dives to the inside. Is this it? Is he going for it? He is. They make contact. Side by side, drag race down the hill. Matrix versus Torpedo. This time I think Torpedo will have to back out. Matrix in the second. Matrix trying to win this race. Torpedo fighting back. He's right underneath them through Al Rouge, right underneath through Adillion. He has DRS. Drag race for the win. Down the straightaway. Torpedo easy overtake on Matrix down the straight. Blitzes away from him. Now Matrix is fighting for this win. But Torpedo snookered him. There will be one more shot, I think, at this for Matrix. I think Matrix is in a better car, but Torpedo might just be able to pull it off well enough to hold on to the win. Instant farther up. Who is that? That's Gabo in 9th. Jigsaw, your race leader has just spun out. That's it. This will plummet him deep through the grid. Now this is an absolute fight for the victory. Who blinks first? Torpedo. Time penalty. That's it. It's over. Matrix will win this race unless Torpedo can force Matrix to get a time penalty as well. How hard does Matrix fight? He now knows this win is automatically his. But does he want the credit of being the first one across the line? That's the question. They're coming to a white flag this time. Matrix right behind Torpedo again. This is the exact same position they were last lap, just a little bit larger gap this time. White flags in the air, final circuit. Matrix drag racing with Torpedo again down the straight. Again, there's nothing Torpedo can do to fight back. Again, does Torpedo do DRS down the main straight? I imagine so. No, he's not. He goes side by side in Redillion. Runs wide, can't keep it together. Still falls in line behind. Matrix still has the speed. Matrix will not block. Torpedo goes back by. Matrix though knows that time penalties are in his favor. He can let the AlphaTauri go. Matrix is gonna win this race. Incident. Gabo once more in Sector 3, at the start of Sector 3, but it's not likely he's going to have to worry about losing his spot to Zola. Jigsaw looking like he'll still finish in 3rd position. And with the 7 points that Matrix will earn with this victory, he will extend the gap to 47 points with 2 races to go. It's not an automatic mathematical victory, but all Matrix really has to do is just show up and finish the remaining 2 races, and he'll have the title locked up. So as Torpedo is the first driver across the line, it won't matter because XRL Matrix will win for the 3rd time this season. Torpedo finishes 2nd. Jigsaw coming out of the final corner on very cooked tires. He will finish 3rd. And Ozda, he's still way back. Zola's just gone for fastest lap, so impressive job if Zola can keep that over Ozda, because Ozda's been blitzing it today. Here comes Ozda to the line. He's going to be the 4th driver to cross, but it won't matter. Smoothie will overtake him due to time penalties. Trying to get Jigsaw into the party real quickly as well before we get too deep into interviews and stuff. All right, well, first coming to the party is going to be your race winner, XRL Matrix. Matrix, go ahead, include your audio.
Right.
You came into this race not super confident, ended up walking out of here with the victory, and now just a few points away from having the title mathematically locked up. What do you have to say about your run today?
Mate, that was some race from me and Torpedo. That was consistent at the top. That was amazing. That was lap after lap for the last, I'd say, what, 8 laps. It was amazing. Kept getting the toll from him, tried a couple of times, and then 2 laps in the end, he got the time penalty. And I didn't even realise until he said. And it was just me trying to keep. He tried to use ERS towards the end of the straight, but it was tough. Like, that was a tough race. That's amazing.
Well, with this in mind, although it's not mathematically locked up, it looks like you've basically locked up the Drivers' Championship. All you really need to do is just show up to one of these remaining races, pull in about 7 points. You have it automatically won, pretty much.
Yeah. Like as soon as he said he had wing damage from Frisbee's AI, I thought my luck has changed here, and it just fell into the hands of me. It was great. Great race.
Alright, well, 2 races left, so here's the real question. Do you think you can go out and win either of these remaining 2 races in the season?
Mate, I'll see what happens, but I'm just buzzing with that. Started P15 and won it. I'm pretty pleased with that.
Yeah,
and also a good drive from Jigsaw as well. He had a great race until the last lap. I can't believe he did that, but we were catching him. Because obviously the pace of
you
Alpha
came
and the DRS. Yeah.
Well, congratulations, Matrix. Now I
Cheers,
want to go
man.
ahead and talk with our second place finisher, XRL Torpedo. Torpedo, well, another race, title, and a race win slips out of your fingers. What do you have to say about your run today?
I mean, heading into this race, I think I knew that it was pretty much done for the title, so I was literally just racing for pride at this point. But I wasn't expecting, like, what was the outcome today. Like, amazing race from, like, Matrix and Jigsaw. Like, the last, like, towards the end as well, just me and Matrix chasing down the Alpine. Really intense until that last lap where Jigsaw unfortunately spins and I get another 3-second time play, which handed Matrix the win.
Well, irregardless, it was outstanding watching you two fight and go neck and neck for the win. It's terrifying watching 2 guys go side by side, diving down to Al Rouge, and you guys did it for the last 2 laps, one after another. That was terrifyingly amazing.
Yeah, and we don't get those type of battles like as often as well. Like, throughout this season, I think it's title fight. Not had that wheel-to-wheel action, but it's good that we had it today.
Well, I will give you a little bit of good news. Driver's title may be out of your hands, but with Ferrari only finishing 8th and Williams only finishing 9th, you've opened up a massive gap in the Manufacturers' Championship, so it looks like you will, like I said earlier, be able to single-handedly win AlphaTauri, the Manufacturers' Championship, if you keep up with this pace.
Yeah.
Alright, congratulations, mate. Also, want to go ahead and talk to our third place finisher, XRL Jigsaw. Jigsaw, you said early on to me, hey, I'm going to win this race, everyone else is going to spin out. Well, you didn't win, but you led most of the laps in that final stint and still came home 3rd. What do you have to say about your run today?
Well, first of all, even though I spun, I still wasn't going to win because Matrix on Torpedo just had way too much pace. They deserved to be 1st and 2nd, so well done to both of them. Decent. I think, I don't know where the turning point was, but I know like halfway through the medium stint, I started getting a bit more pace and I overtook a few drivers, and then Frisbee overtook him as well, and then in the lead, and then, you know, stuff happens. But that virtual safety car on lap 25 came out at the perfect time. So just went on softs, lost less time than I would have done, and then just kind of chilled out for half the race. But yeah, well done, Matrix and Torpedo. You two were battling like crazy just to kind of try and catch, and eventually you kind of did, and while also battling at the same time. So yeah, that was amazing. But yeah, not too bad.
All right, well, good news for Alpine, 3-4, a third and fourth place finish in the points. Looks like you might have a nice little late season rebound for the team, so great job on that as well.
Thank you. Yeah, Smooth did an amazing job today as well. You know, P4 without any time penalties as well. Like I didn't realise that until I've just seen it now. So, yeah, decent result today for the team, and see what happens next week in Netherlands.
All right, thanks very much. Also want to go ahead and talk with our fifth place finisher, XRL Ozda. Ozda, without a doubt, you and Lowe were the class of the field today. Until the two of you got into it with each other and crashed each other coming out of the hairpin, Lowe did not finish. You were able to recover up to a fifth place finish. Walk us through the race from your perspective, mate.
Well, I was behind Low, and basically the Alpha Tower is absolutely insane, like straight line speed. So he had like about a 2-second gap, and then I closed it down after the pit stops and stuff. So we were just battling quite hard with each other. And obviously the turn 1 incident happened, and then basically I was like, it's balls out or nothing. So I put the softs on, got them to 75% wear. For can I go to the end with these tyres? I was like, no, there's no way I can. And then obviously I pitted, had a fight with Smoothie for a bit, had a fight with, well, not really a fight with Ryan Hurricane, got past him quite quickly, and then an unfortunate incident with Zola, him clipping me. I don't know what happened, I'll have to see. But yeah, and then obviously I tried to push that gap as hard as I could to get 4th place, but I only got the gap to like 10.5 seconds, so yeah.
Still, being able to, recover from that accident, we've seen so many times with you before. And please don't take this the wrong way, but we've seen it from you before. You get involved in an accident or incident, and everything just kind of melts down and falls apart. You put on a drive today similar to what you did at Brazil early in the season, coming back from a early instant to pull out a top 5. So great job, mate.
Yeah, I mean, I was pushing every lap like on the limit. That's why I got so many penalties. But yeah, let's hope the next race goes better.
All right, congratulations on 5th place finish. I also want to talk with XRL Flavor. Flavor, outstanding time throughout the entire race. The in finish of 7th isn't really respecting where you were running today. Top 5 on pace throughout most of the time. Walk us through the race from your perspective, mate.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I think I didn't sort of qualify stick as well. I thought I did okay. I have a pain all day. I've been in shoulder, so I was expecting to do great. I wasn't expecting to finish both races today, but I have. So I think I did well. I think I did all right. I think I kept the pace. Just lost it in the middle sector really, and the sort of mediums sort of tried to go a little bit too long, waiting for the safety car. One didn't come. Had to pit for the softs. It's just the gap you've got at the end really, but I thought I've kept the pace pretty well, and it's good for me. It's not necessarily based on everyone else, it's based on what I can do, and I'm sort of doing all right. It's not just about speed or anything, is it? It's about racecraft as well.
And I know you make an absolutely fine point with that. And with this in mind and this finish, you're actually going to close in on a Waddington for 7th in the driver's points as well. So you've absolutely turned in a monster season thus far, mate.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think you've got to sort of keep it in sort of context. For me, I'm doing great. So just keep going, keep trying to learn, keep trying to do what I'm doing. Yeah. Cheers for everyone who's helped me along the way, but yeah, I'm getting there. I just think I've got to keep going. As I wanted to be competitive, getting competitive in all the sort of even the equal and the So I've just got to keep going. I think keep learning.
All right, well, great job, Flavor, on the finish and on having a relatively clean and green race today.
Yeah. Congratulations to Matrix. Hopefully, fingers crossed, he wraps it up, gets what he deserves. And to today's podium and top 10 or wherever everyone finished. Hold on, guys.
Also, for those of you, because we didn't get properly capture it at the end, but yes, Zola did set the fastest lap of the day, so he will walk out here with 2 points. So it will still be a points day for McLaren, but sadly for that team, not even close to what they were looking to be on pace for. But anyways, that will wrap up our broadcast here at Spa-Francorchamps. Next week will be the second to last race of the season. We'll be at the Netherlands. Very, very difficult track to overtake at with a high NASCAR-style banked corner. So I encourage you to look forward and join us for that race, because even if the driver and manufacturer's titles are wrapped up, there are still some people, mainly in the Haas camp, that think that they could still sneak out a victory at Zandvoort. So I encourage you to check that out. Same time as normal, 8 p.m. UK time. Tomorrow, it will be further races for France, at France for X1, X2, X3 on the normal times and channels. But until next time, I've been your host for today's race, Insane Leader 13. Sign off. I want to say thank you.